Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Zach. I just wanted to drop some insane finance stats that's going to scare the shit out of you. 61% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including over half of six-figure earners. Over 40% of Americans carry credit card debt month to month with an average interest rate of over 22%. Almost 60% can't cover a $1,000 emergency without taking on debt. A quarter of Americans have no retirement savings at all. And 34% can only answer 4 out of 5 basic financial literacy questions correctly. Financial literacy is one of the most important things you can learn. Ask yourself this question. Do you want to work until you're literally dead, or do you want to retire someday? You need to understand a little bit of personal finance. You don't need to be an expert in like day trade and do all these stocks and weird terms and everything, but you have to understand enough to make sure you don't go into debt, you have enough money to live your life, and that you want to retire eventually. In this video, I'm going to share the 3 top financial gurus that I follow that you should follow too, so you can become financially literate. If you follow all 3 of these financial gurus, you'll have all the information you need to be financially literate for the rest of your life. All 3 of them have very different approaches to money, and it makes sense to follow all 3 of them to learn the different aspects of it. Live debt-free, learn about the positive psychology of money, and get rich with math. Life is overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. I spent years building simple systems to make my life easier around productivity, health, finance, career, you name it. I'm Zach, a product manager, entrepreneur, and someone that obsesses over optimizing life with systems. People tell you to work harder, but you don't need to work harder. You need to work smarter. Let's simplify your life one system at a time. All right, the first person that you have to follow, Dave Ramsey. Dave believes debt is the enemy, and he's a perfect person to follow to kick your ass if you're in any kind of debt. Dave lives by the 7 baby steps. First step is to make sure you have a $1,000 emergency fund. The second baby step is to pay off all debt except your house using the debt snowball method. The debt snowball method doesn't take into account interest rate, and it's really about the psychology of money. If you're paying off debt, you want to make sure that you pay off the smallest amount first, and then the next one. You eventually have more money that you can keep putting forth, and it keeps you going and very motivated to pay off all your debt. Then he says invest 15% of income into retirement. This is really interesting because Dave says don't invest anything in retirement until you have no debt except for your mortgage and 3 to 6 months of expenses and savings. After that, save for kids' college, and then pay off your house, and then build wealth and give generously. The thing about Dave is he's got like a Southern drawl, and he will just kick your ass if you have debt. You should watch his top highlights. Basically, people will call in and say, hey, Dave, I have $100,000 in debt. And he'll be like, how many cars do you have? How'd you get this? And then he'll just rip into them about why they have debt, say they have to live on rice and beans and pay it off as fast as you can. He doesn't believe in credit scores. He says they don't do anything. He also really believes in behavior changes. He's not a math guy. He understands how math works, but he believes the biggest thing about making money, saving money, and getting rich is behavioral changes. So if you're someone that has any form of debt, credit cards, car loans, student loans, anything, the first thing you should do is follow Dave Ramsey, listen to his highlight videos, read his baby steps, and just kind of listen to him a little bit. And then he'll basically teach you how awful debt is. And it's a way to get you out of debt first and foremost. All right, the second financial guru to follow is Ramit Sethi. So Ramit is all about the positive psychology of money, and it's really, really refreshing to hear him talk about it. He doesn't like budgets because it feels like a deprivation, like you can't have things. Instead, he talks about a conscious spending plan. The amount of money you have, what do you want to spend it on? He basically believes spending as much money as you want on things you love and cut mercilessly on the things that you don't. Ramit talks about having a rich life. He literally says, what is your rich life? And it's different from person to person. It's not just things that you buy. What do you want? Do you want to have flowers every week? Do you want to have a massage? Do you want to travel internationally? Do you want to have a big house or a big car? Do you want to have a big family? That's part of your rich life. What do you love? And whatever you love, you're able to make your money work for you in that way. And if you don't love it, don't spend money on it. If you don't like coffee, don't spend money on coffee. If you don't love fancy clothes, don't spend money on fancy clothes. And his whole thing is basically saying, if you cut the money on things you don't love, you'll have more money for things you do love. Ramit also talks about automating everything. Automate paying all your bills, automate retirement, basically pay yourself first. If you pay yourself first and then you have the money left over, you're able to put that into your conscious spending plan. And now you have this money that you know what you can spend on and what you can't. Ramit also believes for investing in safe, low-cost index funds, ETFs that you're automating your savings in. So every month you have money going from your paycheck into your retirement. It is very safe. It is very consistent. It is automated. This will make you rich with time. Time in the market is better than timing the market. Ramit's fine with credit cards as long as it's paid in full. He doesn't believe everyone needs to own a home. He is rich. By rich, he's a multimillionaire. He sold a really famous book. He has a lot of money, right? He doesn't own a home. He rents. He doesn't believe it's for everybody, and it's about a particular situation where everybody should buy a home, but it's not everybody's best interest to buy a home depending on your financial situation, which is really, really different than what a lot of people talk about. Again, Ramit hates budgeting and penny pinching. If you love Starbucks, get Starbucks. He doesn't say, well, you can't get the $5 coffee, that's gonna make you poor. No, if you love it, spend it there. If you don't love it, cut back. Ramit is also a big advocate on not spending money on financial advisors. Basically, financial advisors will say, I will manage your money for a 1% fee or a 1.5% fee. And you say 1% fee, well, for every $1,000, that's $10. I can do that, right? That's easy. But when it's compounded over time, it can cost you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Ramit does a great job of breaking this down in a lot of his videos, but he's very against personal advisors and recommend you learn for yourself how to do this. And if you absolutely need to, make sure you get a financial advisor that doesn't take a percentage of your assets and just charges you by the hour. So again, Ramit is all about the positive psychology of money, whether it's for yourself or working with your spouse. It's really, really great to learn from him that money doesn't have to be a drag or that you don't have enough. It's more about what do you have and how do you make that money work for you in ways that you love. The third channel to follow is the Moneyguy Show. I listen to their podcast all the time. Brian Preston and Bo Hansen are phenomenal. Basically, they're two accountants, but they're pretty fun. They use math to make sure that you can get wealthy, but they like to use a lot of visuals, storytelling, examples. It's really, really easy to follow. And this is where you can really get rich. Just like Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps, they have their own, which is called the financial order of operations. Their financial order of operations is cover the basics, which is your deductibles and emergency fund. Make sure you get your employer match because that's completely free money. Then pay off high interest debt, not all debt, just really high interest debt, such as your credit cards. They want you to max out your Roth IRA or your HSA. Then they want you to max out your 401k. Then invest in after-tax brokerage. And then the last step is hyper accumulate and prepay low interest debt like a mortgage. So basically, they are telling you where to put your next dollar. If you do step 1, your next dollar goes to step 2, step 3, step 4. Exactly where to put your money for investing to make sure that you maximize the value of time and to make sure that you're looking at things like such as taxes and what is the most beneficial for you making the most money with compounding interest. Again, time in the market is more important than timing the market. They also believe in that, just like Ramit does. They believe that credit is a tool, not the enemy. If you have credit cards and you pay it off and you have great credit, you can take out better loans with lower interest rates. Again, it's the math of it and saving a lot of money that way. So they're on Ramit's bandwagon with that, unlike Dave, who completely hates credit cards no matter what, even if you pay him off in full. The Moneyguy Show believes in safe investments, not flashy, not day trading or crypto, low-cost index funds, really safe investments that grow over time 8 to 10% annually. With time and compounding interest, all of that money grows so much. They talk about things like optimized tax advantage accounts and Roth versus traditional. It can get a little mathy, but again, they explain it in such a way that's easy to follow. And it's very, very simple. You don't have to learn all of that. You just have to know their financial order of operations. What's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing to maximize. They also highly recommend 25% savings, higher than anybody else. They call anybody who basically invests 25% financial mutants. And that is above and beyond. If you can get to 15%, they'll also encourage you to increase it by 1% every year. But in general, they really try to get you investing as early as possible to have compounding interest work for you so you can retire much earlier. So again, it sounds like a lot, but for full financial literacy, just follow 3 people. Dave Ramsey to get a kick in the ass if you have some debt to make sure that you live debt-free. Then you have Ramit, who's all around this positive psychology of money and teaches you how to spend money and not be so super restrictive with your financial budgets. It can be a fun conversation to dream about your rich life and what you want to spend money on. And then you have the Moneyguy Show, who teaches you how to invest, what to invest, and really pushes you to invest more for your retirement. So you have the choice later in life when you want to retire. You don't have to worry about living just off Social Security. So if you follow these 3 people, you will have all the financial literacy knowledge that you'll ever need to manage your personal finances and feel good for the rest of your life. Thanks for sticking around. The channels are below if you want to follow them. I really appreciate you commenting. Let me know if you follow these people and what you think. Also, let me know if you want to talk about anything more around finances that I can kind of help you with. And let me know in the comments what other videos you want to see all around your finances.